Hey guys, my name is Suede, and welcome back to part 4 of our Iroquois game. So here's the diplomatic situation at the start of this part of the game. So you'll see there's a war between Arabia and Germany. Um, Aztecs are looking like they're going to get wrecked soon. The Celts are fighting Babylonians, and the Sumerians are also fighting the Babylonians. So on this map, we border the Arabs pretty much exclusively, and then a little bit the Babylonians. The Sumerians are the big bad civ, and the Celts are like the weird civ in the corner, kind of bordering the Sumerians. So like, if we don't want the Celts to die, because they're going to be an important point of contact later down the road for helping to kill the Sumerians. But yeah, right now they're fighting Babylon. So interesting situation. So yeah, despite killing the Mongols, like the resistance should end quite quickly. Uh, but we still have to put out a few resistors with our units, so we're going to do that now. Okay, we're actually getting medieval infantry per 2 in our cap, which is good, and we are actually setting up for an invasion. So I did my whole evil monologue at the end of the last part. I've had like some thoughts about that since. If you consider capturing the Great Library to be just full evil, like the Great Elevator strategy, which is one I've meant to show off because it's a very popular and one of the few ways to consistently win on Sid. If you consider that to be evil or an exploit, fair enough, then that this is completely turned towards evil. If you don't consider that, if you consider that to be a valid tactic, which I mean, honestly, kind of hard to avoid capturing the Great Library in some situations. If you consider it to be a valid tactic, then okay, that's what we're going to do. Now, what is definitely an exploit is rite of passage abuse, but I've realized that we don't actually really need rite of passage abuse to take the Great Library. Like, we're not really in a hurry here. They're only about halfway through the medieval era. They might get wrecked in this war too. Like, if they get worse off, then it will slow them down more. Sorry, I guess them in particular doesn't matter. But pretty much we need two civs to be in the industrial era to like. I mean, ideally, if we're doing the Great Elevator, like the strat where you capture the Great Library and you get all the techs past education, that's how it works if you didn't know. If you capture the Great Library, you can get techs beyond education if you don't already have education, as long as other civs on the map have techs past education. Um, so yeah, we're not really in a hurry to take the Babylonians out. So in the meantime, we can just kind of carve a path towards them. And then if we do that, we just have the option of just taking the Great Library just like any other city. Might be a pain in the butt to hold, but of course it'd be a lot easier to hold if if it's like contiguous within our nation. If we just do like a rite of passage and we like plow our way through, then of course it's going to be hard to hold, especially with culture flips and everything else. But if we have like a clear path towards it through our empire, maybe it's a little easier. I don't like how I spent all those work moves roading that mountain that got captured by Arabian culture, but whatever. Okay, yeah. So same thing in terms of economy, just straight wartime. Yeah, I think we switched towards units here. We probably do need more trebuchets. Like we were kind of using them as a backup plan before, but now now that they have muskets, we really do need the trebuchets to like soften up the muskets because we can just straight up lose our full health armies attacking into muskets. So at least having enough to guarantee like 1 point of damage or maybe 2 points of damage would be very helpful for us. But yeah, that's the plan right now. We are setting up for a war with the Arabs, and then eventually we want to set up for a war with Babylon where we can take the Great Library. Now it's tricky. We could wait as long as we wanted to eventually. I believe you can get texts from the industrial era. Just we don't want them to get nationalism because then it gets really, really hard to take the city from them. Of course, Babylonians are fighting a bunch of wars, so I don't know. Maybe they're not gonna have that many units at home, but it's not a risk we want to take. And if we have like enough units, then eventually we'll get the city, even if we have to do make some big sacrifices or use a bunch of trebuchet shots. But still, I'd prefer, like, I guess we could get techs past education or past the industrial era. But typically, once they get to the industrial era, like, they just immediately go for, like, fascism and communism before they do anything else. So that's, like, a good break point. So, like, the idea is we would take the Great Library right after they get into the industrial era. we'd get all the techs up to the industrial era, and then we'd tech for replaceable parts ourselves. And then we would just use railroads and artillery to just plow the continent with a straightforward domination victory. So that's the idea. Yeah, again, perhaps you consider that an exploit, and maybe we will need more exploits than that, depending on how rough things get right now. But we'll see. We'll see. As you see right here, the Arabs do have musketmen, so they're going to be a bit tough. I'm kind of like hoping that these just random mounted warriors are enough to take Tlacopan, and then I'm going to use my main stack to push into his north, the Arabs. Weirdly, the Arabs look like one of the stronger civs in the map, despite everything I did. Like up here, they got 4 cities. They got 3 or 4 down here, and then they got 2 on the island, and then 1 up the north. Oh my god, my math today. So that's like, yeah, they got at least 10 cities, whereas like Babylon looks like they maybe have 6. Zulu lost Ulundi, so they're pretty weak. Like that was a core city of theirs. Sumerians obviously very strong. Celts look reasonably strong, but they look like they would just flat out die if they took the full brunt of a Sumerian attack. Obviously, Samaria is spending their armies in different places right now, so maybe they'd be a bit spent and it would be a bit of a stalemate. But we'll see. But yeah, it would kind of nice not to do too much damage to the Arabs for that reason. But we want to be strong, especially like core cities that are like cities that are near our core. Those are always good to have. Uh, yeah, cities that are near our core. What else? Oh yeah, and just cities that are on the way to Babylon because Babylon's got the Great Library. Yeah. Didn't mention this before, but maybe you noticed it in earlier parts. But the city with the Great Library actually also has, if I'm not mistaken, Sun Tzu's Art of War and the pyramids. So like that is 100% a city you want to capture, even if you have to like culture flip it 5 times over and break your trade reputation, just to make it stay with it, like continue to declare war just to take it back. 100% worth it. Now, one other bad possibility is that the Sumerians are really any other strong civ, but it looks like Germany's pretty weak too. Like, I was just looking at the mini map and I kind of forgot Germany existed. You just see like 2 cities of theirs. It would help if we had the interior. Yeah, and the Aztecs are in there too somewhere. So there's like not that many cities in the interior of the western half of the continent, like the black spot you see on the map. Like between Babylon, Germany, Aztecs, Samaria too. I guess the Arabs and Zulu. It looks like there could maybe be what, 8 cities in there. So yeah, most of these civs aside from Samaria and like kind of the Celts, although they're in a rough spot, are not that strong at all. So yeah. Okay, I don't know what the peace deal is. I can't remember if that was a white peace or if I offered him something. I think if you offer him something for the peace deal, it's fine. Um, I don't remember like having fought him 11 turns ago. That doesn't seem right to me. But I'm not gonna go back in the middle of this game and check the previous parts to see what's the deal with that. So if we can't break the trade rep twice, right? So I say that, but I remember there being a situation where you like hyper break the trade rep. I can't remember what that was, or if I'm just making that up. Okay. They do have Ansar warriors potentially. If I'm not mistaken, they have all the ingredients needed for that. Now, I wonder if I could. Is that like their iron? Is that their only iron? Could I have just like planted that iron earlier on before he got the triple border? Sorry, before he got the double border expand in Calix La Huaca? Yeah, that settler's a little bit further than I want it to be, but I didn't want to delay the assault anymore. I don't even have the road to the potential new city. Anyway, if I could have taken away that iron, I mean, I guess he'd still have musketmen, but just the mobility from the Ansars is really frustrating. I guess they're kind of weak on defense, though. But they're cheap. Like, they're not really units to be messed with. Okay, you'll see with the ships I have, I don't know why I needed 2 ships. I guess I was doing dumb shit with the islands. But the one thing they can do is just kind of sit there and block the mobility of the Arab ships or any other ships. They have to go the long way around the island if they want to go through that between north and south. Like I'm blocking the channel with the ships there. You see. Yeah, at this point, I really just need units. Okay, maybe I don't. Guess I don't understand myself at all. This was yesterday too. Like sometimes if I'm lazy, it could be plausible that I'm waiting like 5 or 6 days before recording the commentary over this part. But no, that was supposed to yesterday. I just forgot what the heck I was doing. Yeah, that is foreign citizens there. There's a few Arab cities that I just straight up captured, so there are foreign citizens in those cities. And because of that, the city's disordering. That's okay. Okay. At the time, I thought this was a 3 defense unit, but now that I think of it, there's only 2 defense on that thing. That was a ridiculous roll by him, and like my units can't retreat against him, so it's not like that's why I was losing. Yeah. How many are in that stack? Anyway. Okay, we got the combat settlers out, but obviously we can't plant here. We're looking to take down the city. And now you see why I wish I had more trebuchets. I don't know why I did that. That was kind of dumb, but I guess I was getting impatient. I wanted to see if there was maybe a 3 health unit underneath, and there was not. But if I lose the army there, that's really bad news. That's good. I do have the medieval infantry as like a last ditch, sorry, as like a for when I actually go to take the city. But that's like a one use thing. Like they can't even retreat. Either I get lucky and win combat or nothing. But they can like get some hit points off the defending musketmen to like weaken things for my attacking armies. And I get one of these medis every 2 turns. Sorry, medis are medieval infantry in my capital, so pretty good. I could also keep units in Khorasan for military place. I'm not sure if I thought of that yet. I didn't. But I'm still despotism. I haven't switched governments, so yeah, still an option. Okay, now I go for the change my mind to go back for the pikemen. That's what I was thinking of, I guess. Okay, a few more trebuchets coming, but not really a ton. I guess maybe I could hope for better rolls with the trebuchets. I do have 2 more armies. Oof, that's close. You should know it's good to have. I don't. Yeah, that's not gonna happen this turn. Oh my god. Okay, good, good. I do have a few more trebuchets. Okay, I should really hit that because otherwise I'm just giving away a unit. Oh, also it could hit Coruscant too. What am I doing? Taking the army, I guess. Yeah, like I always need to leave one army just guarding stuff. Because the AI does not attack armies. Yeah, doing that to stop him to get to from getting to Coruscant. Okay, 2 more trebuchets. So next turn, I should be good to get him down to like 3 HP or something. And I'm hurrying production on another trebuchet. Is important. I should have got more early. I did like mass upgrade my catapults, if you didn't notice that. Because I'm not teching. Like at this point, I'm 100% committed to like going for the Great Library. There was no way I was ever gonna like scrounge my way back via tech trading or research. So yeah, like I guess if the world state stays really chaotic, I could like if I just have enough trebuchets, I could in theory win without the Great Library, just based on massive stacks of armies plus artillery. But much more likely just take the Great Library and be evil. Guess I have to decide whether I want this thumbnail in the video to be evil. I'll make it like slightly more evil in the last one, and in the next part, depending on how evil things get, maybe we're gonna go full evil. Oh my god. I had like two full health units there the whole time. Fuck me, right? Yeah. He can just roll up with a bunch of Ansars at any time. It's not especially likely that they'd be out of vision, but it's possible. Okay, did we do it? Yes, we got him down to 3 HP. Okay, that's good. Good. Okay, the army actually didn't lose any HP doing what it did, so it's ready to attack next turn. I'll say if we get some good rolls on the trebuchets, we should be have well set up for an attack next turn. Okay, now I have to like kind of defend myself while I try to get roads up and establish another city. Fuck off. Double checking to see if I have the extra mounted warrior to cover my ass in case that fails, but I do. He could just take Tonawanda now if he has an Ansar, so I don't know if I catch that later or if I'm just making a mistake, but yeah, like I had the unit to put there. If I put it on the hill south of Tonawanda, without Blitz, it cannot take the city unless the rules are different for the AI or something like that. I don't think they are in this case, though. Okay, I see that. Don't want him ambushing me, so galleys weren't really doing that much. So I trade galley for galley, but his was probably loaded, so it seems like a great trade for me. Yeah, I want to see what happens into turn. There's two attack on the musketmen, but the city's on a hill, so with the 75% defense bonus from the fortification, I was in good shape there. Okay, Germany's just getting fucking wrecked. At least the Celts seem to be picking up some cities. That's nice. Oh my god, animations. This is why I turned them off. Painful. Okay, so that means they just like built a musketman. Yeah, I'm just fucking going for it, and it's not going well. Oh my god. Yeah. But yeah, like he's gonna fortify that next turn, so this is like a good bet. Just tossing shit away, I guess. Oh, we got it. Okay, we got it. So that went good at very first, and then I got some bad rolls, but then I got good rolls. And I didn't lose any of my armies, crucially. So I attack with yeah. So the reason I think the rolls were so bad was because of the trebuchets. Because he was defensive bombarding me. The good news is I just well, I took all his trebuchets, so he will make peace. Chivalry would be nice because I'd be give me the ability to upgrade my mounted warriors. You see, I'm sitting on a ton of gold. So I could just use that to upgrade to knights. Yeah, so I got good results at first, then I got bad results mostly because of the defensive bombard. Like the defensive bombard's not as noticeable when you're attacking with the army because you have so much HP with the army. But on those medis, it was like really hurting me, I think. But then I started rolling pretty decently with the armies, and I didn't lose the armies. That would have been brutal if I did. But I guess maybe I got lucky. I don't know if you want to call that luck. He like it's a 50%, a 75%, sorry, 60% defense bonus. So 10% from the flatland and 50% from being a size 7 city. So yeah, I guess I probably maybe it was just that I wasn't doing any damage, or at least it seemed like I wasn't doing any damage there. Maybe sometimes the combat can be deceptive. It'll like randomly decide to show you flashes of things and sometimes not. Like it will show you the damage unit before it cycles to the next one. Sometimes it won't. I don't know what the deal with that is. Sometimes you can be going into attacks with incomplete information, but it saves a lot of time turning off the animations, and I can do a lot of things with time. There's a lot more valuable things I can do with time than like know exactly how much HP has been lost of each individual unit on an attack. I mean, ideally, I don't know. Ideally, like you should do the attacks such that 99% of the time you take the city. Like even if you get the worst rolls, if you get the worst rolls, you barely take the city, is how it should be. Of course, sometimes you have to make desperate plays. I think I would consider myself fairly desperate this game. I don't know if I should be. But yeah, like I think I did kind of. Oh, there we are. I did kind of bite off more than I could chew, just going straight for his capital. I remember at the time being like, shit, I should have gone for Baghdad because there's probably fewer units there. But I don't really actually need Baghdad. Oh my god, fuck me. I might as well be just commenting on somebody else's game at this point because I clearly don't remember shit. Oh god. Uh, okay, like this seems to over here, like we lost a few units, but this seems to be mostly in check. And we just have these workers now, so I guess they're just gonna road towards the old Aztec cities. Man, it would be nice if the Aztecs were still alive and strong, but of course, if they were, then I wouldn't have had as easy a time against the Arabs initially, so really good they fought that war. Kind of wish they won, though. No, then the Aztecs would be strong, and we'd have a counterbalance against Samaria, I guess. Yeah, I'll say it can be particularly brutal having the very strong player be on the enemy, the other side of the map, because you can't really directly do anything about it. If you're brave, you can go for like mass just enlist everybody in a war against them. Like here, it doesn't make sense because the Sumerians are like on a choke point, like they don't border that many civs. In some cases, it might, but like if that fucks up, if they somehow win the war despite being at war with everybody, then you're really in shit because you paid more money for those alliances, and you just gave cities to the enemy. So yeah, it can be nice sometimes having the big dog right next to you. Like I mean, Arabs kind of were the big dog, and that was beneficial for me. Oof. Okay, I lost my great leader there. They're actually less likely to spawn in defense, interestingly. I don't know if you guys know that. And hilariously, I don't know if I realized this yet, but I've actually lost my army too in Kanawake. So I had produced an army last turn, or produced a great leader, and it was like 7 health. I was starting to plant, or I was starting to load damage units into it again. And yeah, I just lost it. It's just lost 2 leaders in one turn. And that one's especially bad because okay, I keep on losing attacking into Ansars. Yeah, sorry, and that one's especially bad because it had the units. Like just losing the leader is bad, but I got a lot of armies. But losing units is bad too. And then I get another one, 3 in 24 hours worth of civ time, and 1 turn cycle. Technically 2, but also 1. Not gonna make the same mistake twice. Okay, we do get his catapults though. Okay, so I'm looking to make peace sometime soon. Like I took Baghdad. Um, yeah, but now I'm seeing Calix. Hold up, just wait, just chill. Calix Tlahuaca. Calix Tlahuaca. I'm seeing that Calix Tlahuaca has been reduced in size to size 5. That means it gets a significantly smaller defense bonus. So now I'm thinking if I can like get a decent amount of units within range, I can clean it up. Ugh. Fustat, Swade, look at Fustat. No. Oh my god, things were going so well too. Okay, I could just attack the city, but I mean, I might lose for one. But more importantly, I'd just be if I even though I win, I'll be damaged in enemy land. A lot of these units cannot reach Calix Tlahuaca next turn, but a lot of them can. I don't know if I've realized all of them that can yet. Yeah, I also have to like worry about the Zantsar that can threaten two of my cities, and then the small stack units too. So I do have to like assign my units carefully. There's just a bunch in Yamama. Just all of them in Yamama can be pulled out. We can pull out of Yamama and then just go down south to that mountain. So I could just leave most of these guys to defend here. I'm pretty safe. Fustat again. I don't know how he got that close. I guess he just got rolled good against the spearman the first time. And now he's coming for the other unit defending. I thought if I kept two units there, it'd be fine. But it's not always the case. Now, if he has his answer, I guess his answer could, in theory, just walk up there and just smash my army if it wanted to. But I wanted to be within range of the city, so that's why I did that. Yeah, like some of those guys in theory could like body block the Ansar, I guess, if they could make it that far, but not far enough to attack the city. So now Babylon's at war with us. Now I really need to make peace with the Arabs, because again, I do just want to go on to Babylon next. I'm not sure how immediately I want to do that. I lose Fustat. Sorry for the foreshadowing. Oh my god. This entire time I was playing this, I was like pretty frustrated with this, but I was like, they got 3 defense, right? No, they don't have 3 defense. They have 2 defense. So these are just all just like dog shit trash rolls I'm getting against these Ansars constantly throughout this part of the video. But that's life, right? Okay, and I get, like sometimes I get like disgusting RNG that saves the game for me. So if the bad RNG is coming here, that's fine. So I think at this point I just need to cut my losses. Like I can't retake Fustat, and that's going to be apparent quite quickly. I need to cut my losses and just make peace and then move on to Babylon. Get some workers first, too, of course. I can probably kill that musket if I want to. Average to Babylon. Yeah, like I could just fight a war against Babylon here. Maybe I'm like considering the possibility. Now he doubts that he will make that deal with me. That's an interesting change of tune there. It's not Saladin in this game. What's his name? Abu Bakr. Yeah. Interesting change of heart. So I'm kind of like preparing to like take Fustat next turn. Like what kind of attack force can I muster? But this was actually the issue, that they thought they could take the Naked City next turn, and now that they can't, they're changing their mind about stuff. And I guess I'm changing my mind. Like, cool, I guess I can make peace, but I won't. But I've pulled off a lot of my mounted warriors. They're just not in the place they should be. Like, I got the army that could... I do have the army. Yeah, like a lot of these guys here can't reach. And a lot of the guys went for the... Yeah, so I probably could have pulled out the army, but then there's a good chance... I don't know, I could maybe lose Daga to Babylon. Anyway, yeah, like seeing that army now, like 100%, I could have attacked first the army, then I get 3 more shots with the mounted warriors. I don't think he's got more than 2 units in that city. And there's a good chance he might not have saltpeter anymore. Where was his saltpeter? Is that like a trade deal? But fuck it, I just decide, yeah. Get chivalry, move on. I got what I need. I don't need him any weaker. It's annoying as like a point of pride to lose Fustat, but it's not really I guess it gives him iron again, but who cares at this point? Like if I have a period of peace and I go fight him again, I could just roll him over, iron or not. Like saltpeter's the bigger deal. So yeah, I got two cities in the north, two in the south. Yeah, I got four cities off of the Arabs, and I lost one. That's fine. Wasn't an especially good city too. You'll notice that throughout this part, I've been doing a decent amount of pop rushing. I'm gonna do it right. I'm gonna try to do it right now. Yeah, I'm getting the barracks here so I can upgrade to knights because the Babylonians are about to be attacking that city pretty hard. Yeah, I'm doing a lot of pop rushing. It's not costing me anything at all. This is because in this game, I just have a bunch of luxuries. So that's one of the reasons I'm not like freaking out over Oka. Like, oh, I got the furs because I already had furs. I have furs at Kufa. And spices too, and wines and dyes, and I think one more. Ivory, yeah. Yeah, that's not happening. That would just fuck my trade rep even more. He's also fighting other people, I think. Okay, settlers out. Should plant in 2 turns, I think. Maybe one. Okay, Babylonians were kind of slow getting here. 600 gold, fine by me. But yeah, despite some setbacks early on, that was a good war against the Arabs. Because of the quality of my land and the traits that I have, my production is quite good. And my commerce is quite good too. So it's okay losing units to get cities. That's what the units are for. Okay. As a reminder, I'm at war with the Celts. Doesn't really matter. I don't think he's going to go war with me. We could like see the foreign advisor again, maybe, but I think he's not in position. In case you're wondering, Tianandaga can't flip. Should probably put more in Kanawake though. It's be a bad city to lose. And the Babylonians could easily have knights at this point. Okay, Empire's getting nice and thick. I was going up to Chanandaga anyway, so I decided to like pop in by a CAD to use the radar function of the army to check on what his defensive unit is. It is a musketman. He does have saltpeter, or had it at some point. Okay, I'm doing some mining here. I'm looking to get knight per 3. So a knight is 70 shields, and I believe I have 21 shields per turn. So if I mine 3 tiles, or use 3 additional more mine tiles, that allows me to do knight per 3 instead of knight per 4, which is a nice breakpoint. I take knight per 3 over Medi per 2, but knight per 2 versus Medi per or knight per 4 versus Medi per 2, it depends on the situation. And I think here I'd probably prefer the Medis, unless I'm desperate to get to the front line. Decided I might as well suicide one of them. Okay, starting to push into Babylon. You see I'm not going for a COD. Going straight the path for his capital, just so I have options there. We haven't checked techs recently, but in case they're on like the precipice of entering the industrial era, it is nice to get as close to his capital as I can. So notice this is an Aztec city. It'll be interesting to see the histogram at the end with the replay. It looked like it was really chaotic war-based game. I've done my share of conquering, but other civs have too. It'd be interesting to see where all the dice have fallen. Okay, here I'm just gonna futilely try to pass tiles over here to get knight next turn. It doesn't work. But I can at least increase growth in some of these cities. Like especially that one size 6, size 7 gives me a nice commerce bonus as a commercial civ. In Republic, it gives you unit support too. I'm not Republic, but worth looking out for. Okay, I think I just didn't move some of my units. Yeah, most of my trebuchets did not move when I wanted to move them, so I'm a turn delayed here, but that's fine. I do need to guard that actual road a while, as well as the stack of trebuchets. Yeah, so I wonder at which point it would be worth it to go to Republic. Now, the thing about me getting bigger, it might seem like corruption's pretty bad on Sid. It might seem like these additional cities aren't really doing much aside from like the typical building workers and hurrying production. Um, but as they get to size 7, the size 7 cities like Coruscant, for example, size 7. Size 7 cities will get extra unit support in Republic. And I do have like a reasonably large army, but a lot of my, because it's a Pangea, a lot of my territory is just naked with no units in it. Most of my army is like concentrated at the front lines in the places it needs to be. So if I get enough size 7 cities in these random far off cities, then what I can do is I can actually make money from being a republic. Now, I'm not sure if I'd want to tech with that, but in theory, if I was making significantly more money as republic and I could manage the war arenas, boom. Check that out, okay? So when they kick you out of their land, they'll kick you out to the closest legal square. They're not going to kick you into somebody else's land other than your own. So what they did here is it actually jumped me over to Egypt because all of the territory next to Samaria was taken. Trying to get the military great leader, but I've had enough RNG for a lifetime of that. Hilarious that I was like complaining about my RNG earlier in this part, as if I hadn't rolled 2 MGLs in one turn earlier and then like 3 in one turn here. I've had some fortunate luck, as if there's any other kind of luck. Bad luck, I guess. Who knows? Okay, trebuchets should be ready next turn, if I'm not mistaken. At least a couple are ready now. Good. As usual, painfully annoying when the AI just like walks defensive units through your land. I've spent all my money. But I could always, like in Republic, I could always use more because I could just buy units if I needed them, especially trebuchets. You can buy trebuchets anywhere because they don't need the barracks. It's more efficient to be buying units in crap cities if you don't need the barracks or if you have a barracks in that crap city for whatever reason. Someone was making a case recently in the Discord that Sun Tzu's is one of the worst wonders ever. It was interesting, but I think there's just like a ton of utility of just having random barracks that should not be discounted. Okay, got him down to size 2, or... And I think that was like bad rolls with the Yeah, he only had 4 units there. Okay, but interesting thing here is I got the settler primed and ready to go if I don't lose it right now. So yeah, like that is the I can get that city pretty damn close to the Babylonians, their capital specifically, which is the city that has all the wonders, including the Great Library. So yeah, again, like I'm very close. I don't. He only has 5 cities, so there's a chance that I'm going to miss the opportunity. Although, like, if the Sumerians take it or if the Celts take it, I don't think they're actually going to guard the city that highly. So I think I would be okay even in that case. Um, it is good to have a strong Babylon to counterweight against the Sumerians. I mean, not really strong, but just like not dead. Also serves as a buffer. Like, if they're fighting the Sumerians with me, then Sumerians can't like sneak units into my core. They can only like attack my frontline stack. So yeah, again, wines in Babylon, spices in Medina. I think I have both of those. Otherwise, I'd be like salivating a little. I don't know. I just haven't had happiness problems much. I'm at 0%. Yeah, 0% on the happiness slider, doing just fine. Take note. Yeah, take note. I've not much else to say there. Just, it's a good way to arrange things. No war weariness. You don't need temples. You don't need cathedrals. Marketplace and take a bunch of lucks. Of course, I did Zulus. That's fine. Having Zulu at war with me looked like a massive stack from him. I thought I lost my settler there too for a sec, but no, I put it in a better place. Nope, worth a shot. That one actually does have 3 defense swayed, but that one I wouldn't combat against. So this actually gives me a road 1 square closer. This is much more likely to culture flip, although not, I don't know. No foreign citizens, so it's not that likely to culture flip. But not going to keep my armies in there. Although maybe if I keep like a 30 stack, I don't know. That's the thing. Like the effect of having units in a city on the reduction of chance to flip is very, very marginal. But if you have like it does stack pretty much forever as far as I know. So I think if the odds to flip are very low and you have a very large stack, you can use that. I'm checking what civs are on the map. So yeah, Americans are the last civ not found. Egyptians I just found, but they don't have anything useful. I gave them a bunch of techs just to like see if that pays off. But really the issue with their economy is that they have too many units. Because they're just stuck on that island. With nobody to fight. How tragic, I know. I would like to join workers to Gandasatagon. Gandasatagon. But I don't want to join foreign workers because then I'd have foreign citizens, and foreign citizens is its own host of problems. There's one domestic worker. I guess I could also take like Zulu workers. That'd be weird. But I believe if I check the culture advisor, they would still be disdainful of me. Like even despite them having lost so many cities and me having a fair amount of temples like across various cities in my empire, it's not enough to close the culture gap at all. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm not going for the cap, so might as well grab a cod to shore things up. Remember, this is an accelerated speed. This is very much Civ. A large map Civ often turns into Worker Move Simulator 5000. I do appreciate the epic scope of bigger games, but yeah, it's not always the funnest thing from the viewing perspective. But one reason I like doing things the way I've done them this series is I get to like turn up the speed of the game as it progresses and it becomes more grindy. I have relatively less to say in relatively longer part videos. Yeah, I hope you guys weren't really hoping for that I was gonna like ham it up pretending to be evil, because that's not what's happened yet. We'll see. Uh, Probably not in this part. Once I have the Great Library, maybe something will sweep over me. Who knows? Just a change of heart. Oh my god. Fuck me. The dumbest thing too. Like I haven't been at war with him for that long. Like he just fucking booked it towards me as soon as we had that deal. Like I guess he had the one unit in that western city, and then he just bought the units, then bought a boat. Oh my god. Or he already had the boat around. Maybe. Who knows? If I can make peace, I don't really want to take Nineveh. Like that just weakens him too much. He just collapsed to Sumerians. We're already seeing Sumerian units, and like to clarify, he is at war with Samaria. I don't know what the heck his units are doing there, Sumerians. City's the other way, buddy. Go back. But yeah, it's a sign things are not going well. Also, the size 8 capital is a sign of that. Like Nineveh's size 12, but it's covered in floodplains. So of course, I do get the temple here. As soon as I get the border expand, I'm in good shape because the city can't flip, and I got the perfect staging grounds. Yeah, once I get the border expand, not only does it get rid of the chance of like a flip, but also what I can do is I can move on to the sugar tile. It gets me one tile closer to being right up in their face, uh, Babylon's face, or maybe Samaria or the Celts or whoever the heck ends up with the city, as long as they don't raise the city. I wonder if this game would be salvageable. Like I've done I don't know if some of the combats were a bit risky, but I've done really well this part, all things considered. Yeah, like what's the alternative? Like I could do Diplo and just like pray that Samaria like builds the UN and holds the elections for me. That doesn't seem like a winning play. Especially because I've raised some cities. Like the worst thing you can do for other civs' opinion for you, like the only thing you can do to like consistently and in the long term completely fuck your civ opinion. Sorry, one of the biggest things is raising their cities that have their citizens in it. There's also a global penalty for raising cities. It's much smaller, but it does exist. So if you're raising like 20 plus cities, everyone will hate you. But did I do it? Did I make peace? That's nice. Again, Ganda Sategon can still flip, so I'm being careful not to load it up with too many units. Worker moves are pretty much arbitrary. They're just kind of chilling until we get railroads, but once we have railroads, we're going to be doing all that, so we won't have time to do anything else. Um, One thing I'll say is that some of these like faraway cities are kind of slow to grow because I'm building settlers out of them because of the despotism penalty, um, and because I'm doing hurry production out of them. But once those three factors end, and I get railroads, these cities will just balloon in size. Like most of these cities are getting like 1, 2, 3, 4 surplus food per turn. They could easily have 6 or 7 once I get them fully railed. Okay, I did try to suicide the galley again, try to find the Americans. No luck. If you didn't catch that earlier, you can see what civs you're playing against using the space race screen. So that's what I did earlier. Is that? Am I at war with Samaria? Or they just they can't be healing in my land. What are they doing? They are at war with the Babylonians. What is going on? Aye, aye, aye. Anyway, so to return to the thought I had earlier, it is hypothetically possible that you could use like a big stack of units to, with a city that's not that likely to flip, to make it unable to flip entirely, but that's just such a risky game because, again, the effects from each unit is very small. So to have a substantial effect on the chance to flip, you would need a lot of them. And then if the city flips, of course, you lose every unit. If you give away a city in diplomacy, the units are like teleported to your capital. But if the city gets flipped, you just all the units just freaking die. Honestly, I think the flipping mechanic would be completely balanced. I know you think I'm gonna say, oh, if you kept your units, no, or they get teleported outside the city. I'm thinking if it was just like if each individual unit had like 5 times more of a chance to 5 times more of an effect on the chance to flip. Hey guys, after I finished recording commentary for this part of the game, I got the horrifying message afterwards that I had low disk space and the video had stopped saving, but I checked and like 95% of the video was still there, was recorded, just the last 5% got cut. So TLDR in the last 5% of the video, I trade for maps, I comment on the map a bit, I get the border expand in the eastern city, yeah, and then I say goodbye to you guys. So that's it. I will catch you guys next time for part 5. Take care.